now, I think. And he brought me a couple deals, and he's been nurturing them for I think 6 months at least. And it was a two pack. We got two homes from the same seller, and we ended up flipping one, and then another house popped up on the same street, and he negotiated. And we can talk all about that. And then I want to talk about his game plan with this holiday party, why he's doing it, who he's inviting, so you guys can learn tips and tricks. So he is like the master of systems, follow up, structure, basically everything you need to know in real estate. He's been doing it for I don't know how long, but he's closed 200 transactions,
Couple hundred,
a
yeah.
couple hundred transactions, probably more than everyone in here combined, including myself. So he gets the follow up process. He knows how to follow up with their clients with gifts and so on and so on and parties. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We have an hour, so we're going to jam pack it 53 minutes. Mike, let's start. Say hello to
Let's do it.
everyone. Let's
What's
start
up,
with
guys?
the two pack. Tell us how you found it, why it was intriguing to you, and then why you brought it to me, essentially.
Yeah, so there is an agent that I've known. They don't do a lot of deals, but their family has a bunch of real estate, and I've actually done two deals with that agent before. And so so I was doing some training, and I mentioned to the group of agents that I'm actively looking to acquire properties as well. And so after that training, that agent shared with me a couple deals that I bought a long time ago, and then fast forward till more recently, another two deals that her mother-in-law had for sale. And so those kind of came to me. I told the agent that it's probably going to be in your best interest to throw those on the market. You'll probably get a little bit more money. And I do that on purpose to show that I'm not desperate for the deals, but also that I want to look out for their best interests. And eventually, they decided that they did not want to put them on the market and they would rather just work the deal with me. So after a few months of going back and forth with the numbers, we finally settled on a price. And buying two properties in San Diego is not cheap to do. And so I ended up having a conversation with Josh and brought Josh into the deal so that we can JV those two together.
And I think I rejected you the first time, right? You brought it
Yeah.
to me, and it was slightly higher. I think we were at 900 maybe
Mm-hmm.
each. And I was like, hey, they don't pencil out, this and that. And you were like, hey, I get it, I understand. And then what did you do? You went back and you almost kind of negotiated in silence
Yeah.
on my behalf, on our behalf, because I didn't hear anything about it for 3 months, maybe 45 days. And you were like, hey, this lady said she'll sell it for us at this price. And it still didn't like pencil out perfectly until I got there, until I saw it, until I walked in. I said, well, we can turn this into this and make it work. But what did you do in that 45, 60 day span to kind of stay engaged with her, one? And how did you get her down in price? 40, almost $80,000.
Yeah, honestly, it's just having a good relationship and having good conversations and just checking in. How's that property going? How are the tenants doing in that property? Are they moving out? Are you having any issues? Are there any challenges? We're right here, by the way, in case you do need that offer or are willing to take our offer. And so, kind of having those conversations over the couple month period is really just focused on building that relationship and letting them know that we're here when they're ready. And that strong of a relationship allowed us to get the deal because they actually didn't pitch it to anybody else. They didn't really go anywhere else. Again, because I had done two deals with them before that were really easy and smooth, the highest price wasn't the best or wasn't their top priority.
Yeah. So my experience so far with agents is I'm getting a lot of leads through Instagram, through social, through this group, and I'm losing out because I don't have that relationship with the agent. So they'll send it to me first, right? And I'll say, hey, let me run numbers, and I'll get back to them in a day or two.
Yeah.
But what happens is they come back a day or two later and they're like, hey, we're having an investor walk on Thursday. And I go, why didn't you tell me that 2 days ago? Well, wasn't planning on it, this and that. But they didn't have kind of the, not respect, but maybe I didn't have the relationship with them to where they just knew that I was going to buy that property and I don't want to deal with anyone else. And so far they're regretting it because I walked in, I said, hey, this house is worth 950. Another investor came in. Of course, they're going to offer more. They're going to tell them what I offered and just
Mhm.
offer a little bit more. Now that person's a wholesaler. Now they're in contract. They're stuck. They locked it up at $1 million. So $50,000 more. And guess what they're asking for?
Yeah.
A price drop. And they're not going to do it. And it's going to end up coming to me, but the seller faces a bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah.
And so how did you how did you get them to trust you like
Yeah,
that?
I mean, at the end of the day, I focus on that relationship, right? And so there was a deal actually when I showed you before. I was the only person to see it before it hit the market. It actually came on the market yesterday, but I saw this house 2 weeks ago because of my relationship with the agent, and I followed up because I saw it hit the market, and I reached out and said, "Hey, just a heads up, I'm still interested in that property. I know you'll probably get more on the MLS and on the market, and yet I want you to know I need to buy another house, and so I'm
Yeah.
ready when you are," type of thing. And she shared with me that they do already have another offer, maybe about $100,000 above where we would be at.
Damn.
And I told her, "Congratulations, that's amazing. Like you should take that."
Yeah.
So like that's the relationship I have that agent, and yet because I also know there's a chance that offer goes sideways,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Always.
if or when it does, that agent's gonna remember, hey, Mike told me this number. Now I understand why they try to lock it up higher, and then now it's going to come down, and maybe I should just bring it back to Mike,
Yeah.
right? So that happens, and I just try to establish that relationship
Yeah.
first, and hopefully it comes back, right? The more that you do that, though, imagine doing that 5 or 10 or 20 times a day,
Yep.
you'll get a couple that come back.
And the reason I'm mentioning this and how to build these relationships is because all you guys are agents out there. I'm guessing everyone in this group is agents, or at least 99% of you are. And so Mike has his license. He's a team leader. He's got 22 agents, and he still takes every transaction and kind of guides all parties, right? So he's really, if he's the buyer's agent, he's really involved with the listing agent. If he's the listing agent, he's really involved with the buyer's agent. I have a couple listings with him now, and he's really hands-on with these agents. Why? Because in the future, when they do stumble upon a property, I think they're going to think of you first. So for you guys, take note, right? Respect the other side of the party. I sucked at this, and that's why I'm not a good agent most of the time. I hate my counterpart, right? For some reason, they always kind of irritate me. They always kind of figure out a way to kind of push my buttons. Mike's cool, calm, collected. There's some instances where I would have just said F off and then cancel the deal, but I'm sure Mike doesn't relay what I say to them exactly. He kind of sugarcoats it. He's like real estate GPT basically for me. But at the end of the day, be friends with that listing agent, be friends with the buyer agent. It's a small industry, especially in your localized city.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the 80/20 rule applies, right? Like in San Diego, for example, 20% of the actual agents do all of the deals. And so you don't want to burn those relationships, offend them in any way. And you want to just play smooth throughout the transaction. Even though there are bumps in the road, it does get rocky, you get these crazy demands. I always respond respectfully. And I always know that, man, if I could just earn the trust and likability of that agent, we're going to get so many more deals later, right? When that agent has another deal and I want to buy it, they already know we're good, we're solid, and so that helps a lot.
Yeah. And so fast forward, we fixed up the house. We did what we had to do. We invested into it. We changed the floor plan. I think that part went as smooth as it could. We sold it for 1.2. We made some money. During that time, though, there was a house, say 15 houses down on the same street that was just sitting there. This agent might be on the call, so she follows me on social, so you don't have to really talk trash if you don't have to. But why did that house spark your interest? I saw it, like I drove by it every single day, right? You drove by it, but something triggered for you, like, hey, Josh, we're buying this house. We're going to sell it at 1.2. Why don't we just buy this house down the street?
Yeah. I think the interesting thing was it was a model match, right? I think that's what caught my attention also. And so driving by it on the way, basically have to pass this house to get to the house that we bought.
On market, for sale sign, on the what, 70 days, 60
Yeah, it was 60, 70 days at that time, I think. I don't remember exactly the days on market. And yet the one of the times that I went to go visit our property, they were doing an open house. And so that for me was an opportunity to go meet the agent. So I walked in, I met the agent, had a conversation. I asked, well, how come this house has been sitting for so long, right? Like it's a great house, it's a great neighborhood, and there were just certain dynamics about the property that was causing it to sit a little bit longer than it should have. So
So you're an agent just on a Saturday going to no clients with you. You were just
no.
going, just driving, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I never make it about me, right? I always say, I'm previewing it for a client. My client buys some other properties in this area. So they really like this area. So I wanted to come take a look. I noticed that it's been on the market for a long time. Why do you think it hasn't sold? And if you ask those questions, I mean, they'll give you the answers, right? They'll give you their feedback on why it hasn't sold.
But were you thinking, hey, we could get this for X amount of dollars, or were you just kind of planting the seed?
I was
Essentially?
planting the seed more so than anything.
Because that one went quick. You planted the seed and it grew within 10 days,
Yeah.
right? We were in contract in escrow, almost closing in less than 21 days from start to finish.
Yeah.
But when you walked in there, I don't know. I don't think you knew right away that this thing was going to go down that fast.
I didn't know that, and yet I did know that if I ask the right questions, then I can get some of the answers I was looking for.
Yeah.
So why is it on the market still? What's wrong with the property? Why do you think it hadn't sold? Who's interested in this property at this point? Because I'm sure you're getting other interest or other offers that are completely lowball. And so there was some evidence, or she did share that there was potentially some other offers that were low. And I asked her, "Oh, do you know who the buyer is, or do you know who the agent is?" And they didn't really know. And so I asked, well, just make sure that it's not a wholesaler, because chances are they're going to attempt to get it under contract and then sell it to me. And so I planted that seed also. And so then they were more aware when those offers did come in,
Yeah.
and they were paying attention if they were a direct buyer or not.
Yeah, yeah.
And because we came in as a direct buyer, a couple days later, it made us look a little bit stronger than and so I had to plant that seed.
Yeah, yeah. And long story short, we got the deal. It's in construction right now. We are our own comp, right down the street at 1.2. We know we can at least get 1.2 for it because we literally took the blueprints from that other property and told the contractor, same contractor, do it again. You could save some costs now that you know what you're doing. We don't need the AC. We don't need a new roof. There's a lot of stuff that this house was in decent shape. We don't need to paint the exterior, stuff like that can still add up on our rehab project. Now we're saving those funds. And so that's just going to help our bottom line. But I guess to close the kind of ring on this, do you recommend agents on here like go to open houses on their own? Like if they're sitting around, they have no clients, they have nothing. What do you expect them to do on a Saturday? What's the best use of their time on a Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, agents should be focused on lead generation, right? And so if they're working traditional clients, then they should be hosting open houses, door knocking, cold calling, social media, networking, working their sphere, all of those things. And yet, if they do have investor clients, then they should also be lead generating for the investor. And so things like walking into an open house that maybe has been on the market for a while is a lead generation source, right?
Yeah, yeah. And if they have an investor, I mean, go to these things all the time and build relationships with agents. I always get these stupid texts from investors, or I don't know what they are, or who's sending them to me, like, hey, we need off-market deals, so on and so on. That's not really relationship building. I don't know what the success rate of that is, but how do you build these relationships with agents I know you coach them, you do coaching, you do seminars, you're on social, like what's some low-hanging fruit for these guys? Because I want these guys selfishly, all 50, 60 people in here to bring me a deal next year, right? You guys are the front line for investors, for guys like me who want these off-market properties, right? And there's other investors in here as well that you can kind of work for. So selfishly, I want you guys to be equipped with some kind of gear here to go out there in the real world and get me a deal. So how do these guys get a deal with agent relations? Like, what's the first step?
Yeah, I mean, the first step is letting the people that you know that are agents or in the business, letting them know that, hey, you do work with investors that will buy good deals, right?
Yeah.
I think sometimes we forget that Josh is in your back pocket, right? So go talk to your title rep, go talk to your escrow rep, or depending on what state you're in, go talk to your lenders, go talk to the other agents that you know, and let them know, hey, you know what? I actually partner with some investors in whatever market, and they're looking to buy one or two more deals. By any chance, do you know anybody that has an off-market deal, or maybe something that needs a little bit of work that I can, bring my investor to? Right? Like you probably have the network already. You're just not opening your mouth and having that conversation.
Yeah. And it can be done on social. It can be done face to face.
Sure.
Most of you guys are with EXP. There's people in that EXP group. We met a whole bunch of people over the weekend that are from EXP, and there's huge networks. And I don't know what other resources you guys have online, but there's ways for you guys to generate these off-market deals for investors, and there's still investors out here today looking for deals, and they just don't have time to go out there and hunt,
Yeah.
right? I'm stuck managing 7, 8 properties. I can't go out there and door knock and cold
Yeah.
call and do the mailers and I depend on wholesalers, I depend on real estate agents, I depend on my sphere, basically, the agents that I'm working with online. But that's how I get my deals. But if you're out there door knocking, if you're already out there doing listing agreements and meeting with sellers in these hoarder houses, you should instantly think of an investor who you could sell these properties to. You're going to double end it. So we didn't even talk about the commission side of it. You got paid a commission
Yeah.
on the deal, and you were an investor on the deal,
Yeah.
right? We JV'd it, and you still got paid because you listed it and you sold it. And during the open house, I think your team generated, correct me if I'm wrong, at least 6 real leads.
Yeah, we had about 30 something groups come to the open house. And so a handful of those were actual potential leads that didn't have agents as well, all on that $1.2 million price point. So those are pretty solid
Yeah, so I
leads.
posted, I don't know if you guys saw it on Instagram. I posted that picture today of the new property that we're fixing on how we said, hey, show up to here.
Yeah.
Your agent, Kevin, I don't know if he's here. He said, hey, what's the address to that property? I picked up a lead from the other house I listed, and he wants that street specifically. Can we go stop by and put an offer on if they like it? And I'm like, nah, yeah, sure, you can. But icing on the cake here is you're going to get the listing. You got paid a commission, standard
Yeah,
commission,
for sure.
right?
I mean, as
It
much as
wasn't.
possible, our relationship, it's maybe different than some other investors, but as much as possible, I attempt to triple end deals, right? I attempt to earn some money when I bring the deal. If I could partner on the deal, whether I'm JVing in the deal or I'm in some kind of profit split model with the investor, that's the second way. And
Did you
then
get paid a commission when we bought it?
I did not.
Oh,
I
okay.
should have.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
should have charged you for the.
Someone, you should have
Yeah, I
charged
should
someone.
have.
That's a good deal. But then you got the listing,
Yeah.
right? But you got the other one. You got a commission on the new one.
Yeah, we got a small
So,
commission on
yeah,
the new
yeah.
one. Yeah.
So you're
So the new one potentially I'll triple end that deal. Is it smaller commissions? Yes, but 3 commissions is better than 1.
yeah, and it's data, right? You're getting the buyer, the seller. You now that's all your database that you can track.
Yeah.
If they're gonna ever sell again, it's gonna come to you. If they're gonna do any type of loan or refinance, you're gonna know about it first. And now they're coming to your holiday party, right? Now
Yeah.
it's another referral source. But that's kind of how we found those 3 deals, right? The first 2 were from an agent that he's been working with. He purchased with a property before, built a relationship, establish rapport, establish that, hey, I buy these homes. If you come up with any of these, please contact me first.
Mhm.
And that's what I want you guys all to do in the real world, right? Build relationships with these agents. And then if you're cruising by and you see a stale listing online, stop by the open house, call the agent, build a relationship, figure out why this property hasn't sold, figure out what you can do to get it sold with this agent. Because you have investors. You just probably don't know it yet, but you have investors. I know you do. If you guys have questions, let me know. Nick, I know you got questions. Tyler is watching something else on his other screen. I see you there, Tyler. Whitman is very involved. What's up, Tim? But if you guys have questions, let me know. I see Austin Cole in the house. Austin Cole's competitor. Be careful, okay? You know who Austin Cole is?
I think so.
His dad's a big
Okay.
investor. Be careful. And he can bench press all of us. So,
Oh.
yeah, he's huge. Any questions, concerns? It was all muted the whole time.
Who has a question? Raise your hand, and we'll go in order of the hands raised. So who has a question? And this is related to the most recent deal. I saw the story. So this is going to be the next project here. So who wants some insights on this?
If you don't, we're gonna jump into holiday party stuff and why he does it and so on and so on. 3, 2.
Yeah, I saw Brian unmute. Brian, do you have a question? Jason has a question.
What's up, Jason?
What up?
What's up, dude? You
What
look like you're
numbers?
ready to party.
Nah, it's been a busy day,
Uh,
and I'm ready to be done.
there you go.
What numbers do you look for your place?
It ranges. For me, I'm looking for like a 30% profit margin. So
Okay.
this one was a little bit tighter than I wanted to, but it ended up working out. We purchased it at 860. we sold it at 1.2. Along the way, there was a design change, and rehab, I think, went over our anticipated. I think Mike wanted 100 grand rehab. We ended up at like 155, which way too much, but we had to. We had to turn that thing into a 3 bedroom, 2 bath. So we had to do a little bit more, but probably around 30%, 33% is what I'm targeting. Some investors don't want as much, right? They just want to make 15, 20 grand and be done with it. That's not a bad month for a couple of investors who were doing 1 or 2 deals. But here in San Diego, I need larger margins just for in case we screw up somewhere.
Right. Do you need to be able to see the inside of the property in person or by video before making an offer? Or if I found something that was 30% under market value, would that be worth it?
I would like to see some pictures. I don't have to walk it.
Yeah, I can
Um,
normally get pictures, but I normally can't get a video or be able to walk it. Because, I'm in Idaho, you're in California, but like I've been randomly getting like one off-market deal a week lately from California. By the time I get comps back on it, though, it's already got an offer on it.
yeah. How do you get these leads? Where are they coming from?
Do you remember Sunday?
Yeah, yeah.
They just randomly started sending me a ton of random deals from California.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's,
I
is it
never
on
signed.
their
I never
website
signed
or
up in California. What was that?
is it on their website?
Yeah,
Nice. Yeah, yeah. We'd like to see pictures. I don't need to see a video. I just want to know. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. We just want to see the roof to see if it's in good shape, any foundation issues, any huge issues that need to be repaired. For the most
yeah, the big
part,
one.
everything's a full gut, in my opinion. I hate when people are like, "Oh, it's a cosmetic fixer." Everything's a full gut. There's no cosmetic fixers. It's either you fix the whole thing the correct way and do a full remodel, or you just don't do anything like I've done on some of them and just relist it, right? It's more, I don't even clean them up, to be honest with you. I just know it's a fat deal. And I know I can wholesale it if I want to, but I close on it, make more money, and basically relist it as is, no repairs, no nothing, because the open market is my lead source, right? That's where I get my buyers. But I don't need to see too in depth. It just has to make sense numbers wise. If it's a little farther away from San Diego, I kind of factor that into my ratios and my numbers. So I might be a little bit lower on the offer side. But Sunday's pretty cool. It's a good website.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I got something in Idaho off market right now that's 75-25. Trying to get them a little bit lower off market.
nice. Yeah, send it my way. Yeah, if you have my email, shoot it to me via email or
Yeah, I'm taking a video of it Thursday, around 4:30. Hopefully, I'll shoot everything over to you after I get that.
cool. Yeah, my phone number is 858-254-9354. Just text it to me.
Did you change your number?
Yeah, no, I didn't. It's the same number.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right, I got you.
yeah, just don't. I don't want Brian spamming me with nudes, so I gotta keep him on his toes. Sorry,
Bruh.
Brian, calling you out, Brian. Mike, on that topic, what I mean, there's wholesalers, there's websites, there's what are you looking for from an agent? What?
Yeah.
So Mike has this cool template. I don't know if I've shared it with you, right? How to like do a walkthrough. Don't you have that like? Here's what I do when I walk a
Yeah,
house.
pretty much.
Okay, yeah.
I like to do a video walkthrough if I'm walking the house and then calling out anything that I see or notice. That way I can actually go back to the video because sometimes we're walking multiple houses, and if you do that every day, like they all start to look the same. And so I like to shoot a video walking through each room, calling out cracks in the wall or maybe potential uneven floors or, fascia boards or things that have termite damage or just things like that. That way I can factor in what the actual rehab is going to be. But our normal template now, we've kind of adjusted it. Like the blanket rehab is $110,000 for like a full remodel of a 3-2, somewhere between 1,200 to 1,500 square foot house.
Yeah. So what I'll do tonight or maybe tomorrow morning, I'll post that video walkthrough that Mike does, just a random one from the past. He does the same thing every single time he walks a property. He'll start in the front and he'll go, this is 2307 Galveston, here in San Diego. And then he'll start walking and he'll go, I'm walking through the front entrance and here to the right is the furnace and he opens it up. And then to the left is the kitchen and this and that. And so he's got the same script every single time. The goal, I think, would be to keep it under a minute, just because when you send it to someone, it kind of gets blurry after that. But if it takes two videos, you can still send two videos. What Mike and I have, I don't know if he's logged into it, but we have a shared folder on Apple, like on the iPhone. So we have a couple projects that we just upload the videos to, and then if we see a project that we might like, we kind of start a new one, and then we'll upload it to that. So we save the video so I can go back to it. So some of the issues are if I can't get into it, the appraisal, right? The appraiser will say, "Hey, I need to go in there. There's a tenant in there, or we don't have keys to it, or whatever. You can't get in there." Here are the pictures though that you would take anyways, and they would accept those pictures. Those hard money lenders take those pictures that we take. So make sure you get all the angles, and you take a really good, thorough walkthrough video.
Yep.
But that's kind of where we're at if we can't see the house. All right, who else?
So Michael on the chat said, ask where you guys based out of. I mean, San Diego, right?
For the most part, right?
Yep, San Diego. We'll do a little bit. Well, we haven't done one yet together, but South Riverside County, which is like Temecula, Murrieta, those neighborhoods or those areas.
Yeah, I like Temecula. I have never done one in Temecula, but I need to. I think those are that's ripe for flipping. The problem is the contractors don't like crossing the border. There's a border line there, like a checkpoint. Hasn't been active in a couple of years. I think they're gonna once someone takes office, they'll probably launch that back up. And so the contractors were afraid of driving past there. So I'd be like, "Hey, if you need a job, I have a job in Temecula." And they'd be like, "No, no, Patron, can't do it," because it's just risky for them. And some of the kind of like legit contractors, their workers most of the time are non-documented. So going up there is a big risk. So you have to kind of find crews up there, which makes it a little bit harder to trust. But yeah, I like Riverside, I like Temecula, I like Marietta, Menifee. What's the other one up there? Lake Elsinore. That's probably my cutoff. And then across all the way up to maybe Anaheim at the farthest level. Past Anaheim, things kind of get tricky in LA. LA is a monster, and comping LA is risky, and the tenant laws up in LA are even crazier than down here.
So outside of those areas, will you just not do like flips? Like, would it have to
We'll
be
do it. I
long-term
mean,
hold?
you and I have done one, Tyler, a couple years ago, right? 4 years ago. We did one in Ohio. I'll do it if the numbers are right and I have boots on the ground. So I'm trying to like Florida, Texas, for sure, Nevada for sure, Arizona for sure, Washington hit or miss. I don't have crews there, but I'm starting to plant seeds with crews. And I just have to have boots on the ground. If I have boots on the ground, I'll do it. And if not, we'll wholesale. I'll be honest with you and say, "Hey, look, we probably don't have boots on the ground. I have investors who will buy it, and I'll make 5 or 6 grand off of it, and you'll still get the listing and the commission and all that stuff. But I have other investors in some of these smaller states that most people don't think about.
I'm building you a team over in Chicago too. Seed's been planted.
What part of Chicago? Oh, lost him. We'll take it. Chi-town. They got good hot dogs, right? Pizza.
What's your like? So here's
Northwest suburbs. Sorry, my mic was muted. Northwest suburb.
All right, I'll have to look it up on a map. Only thing I know about Chicago are the Bulls and Kanye. Okay. That's it.
Good enough, baby.
Take it. What was your question, Tyler?
So across everything you do, right? Because you have like different things you do to find deals. Like you have a call center, right? And you have I'd imagine other expenses. So like, what's your cost to acquire a deal?
Right now it's super high. Nah, it's probably like 15 grand sometimes. I mean, with everything, it's almost 15 grand. Especially starting off. I would say the goal would be under 5 to acquire a deal. So Mike, we used to work for a big flipping company. What was the goal for like a cost to acquire?
Yeah, I mean, depending on the lead source, between 5 and 7,000. So if it was, on the PPC side or some more expensive lead source, then yeah, it would probably go 5 to 7,000. On the cold calling side, usually you can get down a little bit more, but it does require more manpower, more volume, and sometimes it takes longer. So and then direct mail, probably between 4 and 7,000 as well. You got to send a lot of mail to be able to convert. So
yeah. So I've done it all. So if you guys have any questions on what works and what doesn't, ask me first because we've done the PPC, we've done the Instagram, the Facebook ads, we've done the call centers,
I've done TV before.
TV.
Yeah, this was a couple years ago, but we were spending at least 10,000 a month on TV.
Yeah.
And I mean, it did convert over time, but you have to be able to run that TV commercial for 6 months and look at that conversion over time. So you're not going to get something right out of the gate. And so
Yeah, I don't think you're ever going to get something out of the gate unless it's a real estate agent relationship. Those have seemed to be the best, cheapest kind of lead type for me. So cold calling, it's hit or miss. Like you're only as good as your data. If you're calling people who just purchased their house, I mean, you're not going to get shit. But you have to have really good data for your call center to call. PPC, same thing. If you're not targeting the right people, if the message isn't clear enough, if the video sucks or the real whatever strategy you're using stinks, you're not going to get leads. If your follow-up sucks, the leads are going to come in and you can't follow up, then you're trash. TV, like you said, direct mail. I didn't like it. Like we spent $7,000 a month on direct mail, and we got 4 leads a month, maybe, and maybe one converted over time.
yeah,
And I think that one even canceled. So direct mail, we have good sources. Like what's his name, Brian Dorsey, Dossie. He owns Ballpoint Marketing. So I even got good deals on this stuff with the best data possible. And you guys all have access to this if you guys really want to try direct mail. But it just doesn't. You just have to spend money and then you have to follow up consistently. So for me, we screwed up along the way this year on lead sources, just kind of spending freely, and that's why our cost to acquire got super high. But since then, I've cut PPC, I've cut Facebook, Instagram ads. I've reduced my call center from 10 people to 5 people down to 3 at the end of the year, just because I want to save as much as possible and focus more on pouring into real estate agents. You guys are the best frontline individuals and lead sources out there, right? I'd rather give you $2,000 a month to do whatever you want and bring me at least 5 deals a month, right? I think you can do it. Most of you can, right? If you guys are like, hey, Josh, I want a Lambo. The Lambo's $4,000 a month. I'm gonna say, all right, cool. You got to bring me 12 leads a month, and I'll convert 3 of them and pay for your Lambo. So I'd rather do that. Anytime I spend money, I'm like, man, I should have just bought a Lambo.
yeah, I mean,
Because the Lambo is better use of my money than spending on Meta or whatever these lead sources, and it'll attract more.
for sure.
More
Imagine if
eyeballs.
all these guys and girls had Lambos.
If you guys had Lambos, do you think your game would go up considerably? Like you would get more deals, I think. No,
So your favorite lead source is agents.
100%. Now I'm a firm believer of agents, and I have to shift my mindset from thinking they're the enemy, right? Because I'm an agent too. I'm a broker, and I'm dealing with these agents they're my competition. They're mostly on the other side of these transactions. They're stopping me from getting buyers across the finish line. Like I get frustrated with agents, but now I'm fully converted, fully all in with agents. As an agent, for an agent, I want to bring as many deals as possible from agent relationships. And that's purely from my standpoint is value. I'm not as nice as Mike. Like Mike's a friendly guy. He'll follow up with people. I want to provide you guys with checklists, scripts, whatever you guys want, walkthrough video templates. You tell me what you guys want and I'll provide it for you. So that's the kind of value I want to bring. So you guys are forced to bring me deals at the end of the day.
Sweet. So hear that, y'all? You bring LT enough deals, he'll buy you a Lambo. So it's on.
For sure. You just got to wrap it with the bull. You guys down?
Let's go. Get a fleet. So who else has a question? Sean, I see your hand up. Anyone else put your hand up? Because I know these guys got to go by the top of the hour. So we got a few minutes if that.
Yeah, we'll take a couple more questions and talk about why you do the holiday party and so on and so on.
All right, first off, happy Tuesday, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, my mic's not on. My mic.
Sorry. Yeah. We probably should have said happy Tuesday because you're driving, but I gave you like a thumbs up.
Oh, that's funny as hell. Okay, so my question is this. So I'm listening to this 30 per how you like to be in a 30% profit if we were to bring one in. So just for round numbers. So let's say the CMAs in the area are at 100K and I find a place that's only set that they want 70. but I come in at a bid that minuses the rehab cost. So let's just say it's like $20,000. So I, instead of the 70K, I offer 50 because that's well within inside the rehab cost. If I get that deal, that's the deal you're looking for. Because at the end of the day, you sell it for 100, you got it for the 50, the rehab cost makes it 70, and then you sell it for the 100, that's 30,000. I'm just doing round numbers.
Yeah, no, I think that's a slam dunk deal, right? But I don't think that seller, unless there's something crazy with the seller, will go for that, right? So somewhere in between that wiggle room, I guess, of 70%, so 70 grand all the way down to 50, somewhere in between is a deal I would take 100% of the time. Even if it's on the higher end in a decent area, and I can make 30, maybe what, 32% off my investment, then I think that's a slam dunk. Here in San Diego, it's a little harder to find that because there's so much competition, but some of the other areas, I think you can find that. But yeah, you're on the right path, basically.
Okay, cool. I think.
Yeah.
Oh, happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel Delphine, what's up, man?
DD in the house.
I see your hand up.
How you doing, LT?
Good.
Just a quick question. I wanted to know, would you do any deals up here in Canada?
Canada. Would we do deals in Canada?
I know we met that other guy who's
So we met
smaller in Canada.
We went to a mastermind thing over the weekend. We met two big players in Canada over the weekend. So the answer is yes. It just has to make sense. So depending on the deal, he was basically complaining about the Canadian real estate market. It sounded like I mean,
Yeah,
you
it's
talked to
rough.
him for a while.
He said the high price point. Well, where he was at, I think, what was it, Alberta, Toronto, or something
Yeah.
like that. One of the bigger cities. High price point, and then they have a lot of rules that benefit the tenants. So if a property does have tenants, it makes it a lot harder.
Yeah. So fully transparent. I'll do the deal there. I'd probably JV it with a guy we know up there. But we would do it, yeah, if the numbers make sense. Was he on the development side up there?
Yeah,
or-
he's doing more ground up development, self storage.
Yeah.
But they'll do some flips as well.
Yeah. And he does self storage here. So if you guys get storage units, he's basically our best friend now.
Yeah.
And so if you get storage units or places we can build storage units on that are zoned for it, send that to me for sure. You could either wholesale it to us or we could wholesale it to him or whatever. We can make some decent money on those.
Okay, cool. I don't have any deals myself, but what I get is email every day from a bunch of wholesalers that are trying to sell it to me as an investor.
Yeah.
I've thought about doing one myself until the cash gets there. Then, yeah, okay, cool. Just wanted to know if I should send them to you or not. If the profit margin's there.
Canada is here, like what's the so you get a wholesale list. What's the next step if you like a property? Do you just go walk it? Same like here, you run your numbers, call it a day.
Run your numbers. It's honestly first come, first serve. You present the deal and you just get it's an assignment sale, right? But the wholesaler just sign it to you. Sometimes they have certain stipulations, like you have to pay some lawyer fees, or you have to wait till the tenant moves out, or tenant will leave all his junk behind. It really depends. It's a per situation basis. I've seen some wholesales at 450K Canadian, all the way up to the millions. And you mentioned earlier your profit margin is 30%. So I think that's doable. Some are less doable than others, and some are in more favorable areas.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really depends on the type of remediation and work it's needed. Some are pieces of shit, right? And then there's others that are like, just flooring, paint, and a couple new kitchen cabinets, and you're good to go.
And is there a capital gains tax and stuff? I got to learn Canada if we're gonna actually invest there.
Yeah, capital gains is 50% of the income earned gets taxed at your income level, tax bracket level, which is ridiculous as well. I don't think we have like I believe Josh mentioned this, like a 10-20 exchange, 10-80 exchange. I don't know what it is, but something like that. It's an American thing. We don't have it here, unfortunately. But yeah, there's certainly other tax things you can do here, though.
It sounds like Trump's going to buy you guys soon, so we should be good.
I can't wait, dude.
You guys will be the next state, the next American state. So maybe soon we'll be full time in Canada.
Hey, there's a lot more Republicans than you guys think. Just want you guys to know that.
Canada, that's crazy.
And I'm in Ontario.
Canada's guy.
That's very liberal.
Okay, cool. All right, well,
All
send
right.
me an email with what you got. Let me look at it. Let me dabble in the Canada.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds
Yeah.
good.
How's the food in Canada? I'm not going to go there if there's not good food. I can't look at the women, so I don't care about that. Just gotta have good food.
No, we got a lot of different cultures here, man. The food is great. I have zero qualms about that.
Okay, good.
A lot of Persian
Kendrick
food.
Lamar recommended a really good restaurant.
Well, I'll take it. Any other questions on this topic? We'll go further into it as the year progresses. But we're here to kind of answer anything you guys want. So, last question, anyone? Anyone shy enough? Who else is in here? Who else can I call out on?
LT, do you focus a lot on like probate stuff to like get leads?
I've never focused on probate, but I would like to. I mean, it seems like that's a attorney relationship, right? How do you get probate leads?
Yeah, more attorney relationships, and sometimes when a deal goes all the way to probate, in some cases they're choosing a real estate agent. The attorney has that relationship, and they're choosing between one or three agents. And same thing with divorce, right? If there's an attorney involved, they basically choose three agents, and then it gets assigned to one of them. So it becomes a little bit stickier if you're not on the inside of it.
Yeah. There's always like lead sources that I don't look into because you're almost kind of carved out before it even starts, right? If it gets to an attorney, that attorney already has a list of agents he's going to send it to. But I'd like to look at them. Do you get them all the time or what?
No, not all the time, but I've helped buyers who like tell me like, oh, I need to find a place now because it's like the third home
Mm.
that the owner died, and I've got to. So
Yeah.
I was just wondering like who's the people that are getting the deal first, but like you said, it's probably the ones that have that relationship.
It's probably that attorney. Like I've seen, because I always look up deals. Sometimes I'll look up deals that I missed out on that go to probate, and then it'll end up being like the attorney's LLC, and I'm like, this guy's just fucking buying it right there because he knows it's a solid deal, and I
Yeah.
guess he has the right to. Like he can't stop him, but sometimes the attorney's buying it. Like I've seen my real estate attorney on deals that I lost, and I go, hey man, I didn't know you flipped homes. He goes, well, it was just a slam dunk deal. Like I had to, and then he just fixes it, flips it, and sells it. And he can do that. Like, and so these attorneys, these CPAs, they are like my CPA sends me 2 deals a month, whether it's a refinance or someone looking to buy or sell. And that's just my CPA, and that's because I use them and I'm nice to them essentially. But you could just go after all the CPAs, all the attorneys, and build your book of business that way. Yeah, so bring me probate deals if you got them. All
I
right, we
got
got
it.
9 minutes left. 9 minutes and 26 seconds left before we go to Mike's cool holiday party. And that will lead me to why do you have a holiday? I've never thrown a holiday party. Why should these agents either go to a holiday party or throw their own? And explain to us why, when this established and why you do it. And do clients go, or is it just agents, or
Yeah.
what do I have to expect tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good way to stay in touch with your past clients and current clients. It's
So you
also
invite you.
Yeah.
This is clients are going to be there.
past clients, current
So I
clients.
can't get too
Yeah,
drunk.
yeah. We give 2 drink tickets per person, so that's
Okay, so I
you
can't get
wasted
too.
up too.
Yeah.
Then
So there's clients going to be here. I thought it was
Yeah.
just for your team.
no, we have 103 clients RSVP'd for the event. We are doing it at Dave and Buster's. We did it there last year as well. So we ran out like half of Dave and Buster's, and we have game cards for everybody, 2 drinks, buffet for food, and it's honestly just a couple announcements, kind of conversing with the clients, and then it's like off to have some fun. And I always just go play games with the clients. Like that's the fun of it. And it gives us multiple touch points, right? Our goal is to stay in touch with our clients long term. And so we always call them when we're inviting them to the event, send them a text to the link to the event, follow up. Are they coming to the event? Hey, thanks for registering for the event. Hey, I'll see you at the event. And then at the event, we have a good time. We play games. After the event, we reach back out. How'd you like that? Is there anything we could do better to make your experience more fun? And I hope to, continue to do this stuff next year. So it gives us multiple touch points, and it makes it not about real estate. And
Yeah.
usually we'll get referrals from that, right? It's like, we're fun, we're cool. Yeah, we have a good time, but also we talk about real estate and we help our clients. And so it's just establishing those relationships again and going even further. And we encourage some of them to bring your friend, bring somebody that you
Why
think
not?
might be a good fit for working with us and might be interested in buying a house. And that's why we bring a friend kind of thing. And then we also invite current clients, right? Clients that maybe we met at an open house or somebody referred us to them. And hey, you know, I know we haven't bought a house yet, or we haven't helped you sell your house yet. I'd love to invite you to our client appreciation event just to show you that we care, we love you, and we appreciate you.
Yeah,
and
why
we're
not,
excited,
right?
I mean,
Yeah, it's
what are they
lovely.
gonna do? Go find another agent after that? Probably not, right?
They say no, like, oh no, thanks, but they're like, damn, this guy's actually.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so your agents are bringing their past clients, your past clients, and then what are the expectations from from you to your agents? Like, what do you expect them to do at these kind of?
Yeah, honestly, we just expect them to come on time to help set up, organize their clients, right? It's at Dave & Buster's, so it gets a little hectic.
Yeah.
So have your clients come to where like the art area is and like check in and get their drink tickets and things like that. And then we ask the agents to participate in the ugly sweater contest. Some do, some don't. And yet, if
I
they're
didn't know it was
participating,
an ugly sweater.
I mean, see, you gotta come.
Next
We'll
time.
bring you one.
Yeah.
But that also, we have prizes for the ugly sweater contest, and it just again encourages people to participate more. The more engaged that everybody is, the better the event is overall.
Yeah. And then how often do you do these events? Is it once a year for like a big one like this?
Yeah,
or
we
is
do the
it-
big one once a year. We've done summer ones before, like a movie in the park, or we've done a movie theater before. And then sometimes we'll do like a Thanksgiving day or a Halloween like pumpkin carving contest day or things like that too. So we try to sprinkle in different type of events throughout the year. And again, it's not about the event itself. It's about all the touch points and the communication around the event, right? Like if nobody came to the event, which there are going to be a lot of people that come, but if nobody came, we reached out to all of our past clients and had another conversation, had another touch. We're able to ask, hey, by any chance, have you guys ever thought about selling and upsizing in 2025? Or do you have any friends, family, or maybe coworkers that are looking to buy or sell a house in 2025? Right?
Yeah.
It gives us a good reason to ask that question because we're leading with the event.
Yep.
Right.
So, yeah. And then I just did quick math here because my kid wants to have his birthday party at Dave & Buster's, so I know how much this is costing per person. How are you going to pay for this all? Like, is there a strategy?
No, I'm just kidding.
Bank account?
Yeah, I mean, we cover some of the costs, like as the team, and then we bring in some vendors to help cover the costs as well. So I would say I cover about half the cost. This event's probably going to be somewhere around $10,000 to $12,000. So I actually do cover half or so, but then we bring in some vendors. So you'll get to meet some of the other vendors, like our home inspector, escrow company, our home warranty guy, our 1031 exchange guy. We have some lenders, my hard money lender guy. So like we'll bring in those vendors because some of the clients that come are also their clients, right? So it's almost a good reason for them to re-engage with some of their clients, right? Like the home inspector I use, he's inspected every or almost every buyer I've ever worked with.
Is that the guy who did mine?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Hey, you already work with him. You haven't even met him yet.
Yeah.
So like that guy, he has he's encouraged to come because he knows all these clients too.
Yeah.
Right. So
I gave him $1,000 this week.
Yeah.
At least 1,200.
And then he's gonna give me that $1,000 to use for the event.
I'm just kidding. You're welcome.
Probably somewhere.
So I just paid for it.
So yeah, we encourage them to participate also. And again, I always tell my vendors, contribute what you can, right? We know it's holidays. We know every other agent, every other team might be asking them. And so there's no rule.
What's that conversation like though? Like I'm a lender. Hey Josh, I'm having a party. You want to pitch in? It's $12,000.
Yeah, I tell them the minimum is $250, right?
Oh, that's not bad.
If you can contribute more, obviously this is an expensive event and venue, and you're a big part of all the people that want to come to this, and so we appreciate it if you contribute more. And yet, we don't. I'm not here to beg. I'm here to build a relationship and a partnership with them.
Yeah.
So when they come see it and experience, because I encourage all of them to come and actually have fun with us, experience the event also. Then they get the big picture, and they're more likely to come next year and reinvest and do more things with the team. So all these vendors do lunch and learns with us and like contribute to the team in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, and would you rather have this party or a Lambo? That's the question of the day. Probably the party, right?
Yeah,
I think the party.
The thing is, the party is longer lasting, I think, because people remember this event from last year, right? Like there's people that didn't win the ugly sweater contest that are like avenged. They're like ready for they're ready to win this time, right? It's like it's a pride thing, and so people look forward to it.
Yeah. I would have wore that CEO shooter's outfit. for my ugly sweater color. Yeah, and then put my Christmas lights on it. I would have won for sure, bro. If you would have told me, I would have found that thing on Walmart.com. But what do you think your return is on investment with these leads? So let's just talk about last year, right? Not this year. Do you think you could quantify how many people referred you deals from last year? Do you keep track of that? Is that
We do track a little bit of that, but we encourage our agents to have those conversations, right? And so those do turn into referrals over time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, if this event cost us ultimately like $12,000, we got one deal that came from that. Like out of 103 clients, chances are one of them is going to refer one person in 2025, right?
Yeah.
So this is just a way to establish that relationship further. And so the event obviously pays for itself at that point.
Yeah, and I think if you're a lender, you're a home inspector. I mean, the home inspector, like you said, is covering his costs right away. Like,
oh yeah,
just by being in your inner circle, like he wouldn't have got those 2 deals if he was with anyone else.
Yeah,
like my home inspection, we have 3 more coming, so he's gonna get paid back easy.
For sure.
A lender, same thing. If he gets a repeat client or refi, if rates drop and he sees his client there, it's just a quick refresher.
Another conversation.
The escrow officers. I think that's hit or miss, right? That's not more customer facing daily. You're not going to really use escrow.
Some do. I mean, like your escrow officer.
Yeah.
Imagine you seeing her at the event. Like again, you
as an agent,
further relationship, and then it's like, okay, like I'm going to use you on the next listing, right?
Yeah.
Like it does kind of resurface the relationship.
And then we have 3 minutes left. I have 2 things. So recruiting wise,
yeah.
Do you invite other agents to these events who are outside of your brokerage now, or no?
Not to this event, but I have a new agent that's jumping onto the team, and this will be like her first experience with us. She hasn't onboarded yet or anything, and I was like, well, come out to the event so you can kind of just get an experience of what that might look like.
Yeah.
And so she's going to come. So I do encourage newer agents to come, but not somebody that's not on the team.
Okay. I think it's a good opportunity. I think that's low hanging fruit, right? Especially at the end of the year when things are slower for agents. Come out, see what we got, see what we have to offer. This is what we do every single year, right? And we're gonna repay you. Whatever the split is, you're gonna get the value 10 times, I think, in my opinion, by just throwing this holiday party. I don't think any agent here throws a big holiday.
Not really. And we try to make it a goal for the agents to bring more people than they did this year, right? And like if you're a new agent on the team and you don't have any clients, I encourage you to still come to experience it and make it a goal to have 5 clients next year, right? Or 10 clients come next year, because that's how you build a business and build relationships over a long period.
Yeah, everyone's got clients. I mean, you can invite an investor, right? If you really wanted to. Who wants a free beer and whatever.
Everybody wants to go to Dave and Buster's for free games and a couple beers.
That's why I'm going. I just want to get a couple beers and play some games. On that note, any final questions on why he throws these types of parties or events and how you could do it with your, I mean, you probably don't know 101 people, right? You don't have a big team, but should they throw parties for their 5
I mean,
clients?
I would do it on a small scale first, a little dinner or private dinner or something like that. Again, just show your clients extra level of appreciation. And the best way to do that is to allocate that budget when you close their transactions, right? So like for easy math, if you make $10,000 in commissions on a transaction, allocate a percentage of that towards long-term like client retention and client relationships. So that could be these dinners and holiday parties and things like that. So that way you never run out of money. It's allocated from the closing. So you're leading with revenue and you kind of already have it in place there.
Perfect. Yeah, smart. All right, any questions? I think Nishan, or is that your hand still up from before?
Rudy asked, can that go against taxes? So
it's got my hand up from before. So.
Yeah, it's a marketing expense for us.
Nice. Good question, Rudy.
So my question is, okay, so back onto the so at what price point do ULT stop becoming a all cash buy? And then what's your pain point on how long you are uncomfortable having that money go?
To be honest with you, I don't know why. I was telling Mike this over the weekend. Like, I think I'm my only like blockage, right? I have plenty of money or access to plenty of money. I have plenty of leads. I have plenty. So there's nothing that makes me uncomfortable. Like you could send me a $10 million deal right now if the numbers make sense. I would feel comfortable doing it as long as we do the underwrite and all that stuff. But I mean, is there a number for you really, or is it just?
I mean, we all have our sweet spots. I mean, Josh has deep pockets. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not deep pockets,
but I mean, it's like it's
with
access,
people,
right, to resources. And I think we didn't get to it this call, but I mean, we just opened up more access to further resources from a networking event that we have attended this last weekend together. So, there is, I don't want to say unlimited amount of money, but if the deal's good enough, the money comes, right? We'll find a way to make the deal work.
Yeah. So to answer your question,
So
I'm
just
comfortable doing
so
whatever.
just comfortably.
Yeah.
So
So when
just comfortably,
you said
let's
10 million,
say
right? Like,
400.
yeah, we have
No, I'm
contacts.
saying more like 400,000, 400, 500,000.
I
Are
just
you guys
closed.
comfortable with that as all cash?
Yeah, we could close it. If the numbers make sense, we have the cash to do it. We have the credit lines, we have the lenders, we have whatever. And we could close in 10 days. Like that one we're closing on tomorrow was a double close. I purchased it all cash, 437,000. Used a credit line, paid a little interest on it, but I knew I was going to sell it, and we're selling it for 533 in less than 35 days. So buy it for 437, sold it for 533, use a credit line, felt comfortable. There's a tenant in there who's a pain. I don't know if she's listening, but at the end of the day, I know there's a paycheck at the end of the day. So comfort wise, it's just got to make sense. It's all numbers. Like if you're telling me, hey, Josh, you have to spend 400 grand and you're going to make 600 grand in 60 days, I'm going to do it.
Okay. Yes. Sorry, the map was moving faster than I was. No problem.
We lost him.
All right.
Sorry about that. I still had the mic on.
LT, I had a quick question about that one deal where you had like a house that didn't have a garage. You said you went across the street and you bought the neighbor's garage. How did that
I
work?
leased out the neighbor's garage.
Oh,
That was on 49th Street. It was a single family home, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, no garage. There's an alleyway. Across the alley was a auto repair shop or a car dealership, I think it was. And I pulled up in the Cybertruck. And I didn't even notice that garage for so long. I don't know why I just never saw it there. So I pulled up in front of the auto dealership. The Cybertruck was there. He comes out. He goes, "Hey, cool truck." The conversation starts, right? We talk for 30 minutes, and somehow he's giving me a tour of the dealership because I was like, "Oh, how long have you owned this for?" And he's like a Middle Eastern guy. He's like, come on, let me show you, let me show you." And I went in there, and then I see this garage pointing at the house, and I'm like, "What do you do with this space?" He goes, "Nothing." I go, "If I give you $5,000 a year, can my tenant or the new owner, when we were trying to sell it, use this space as their garage space?" And he said, "For $5,000 a year, sold." And I was like, "Damn, I should have started at like 2,500." But realistically, that's not that much money. For me as a seller, I was just going to pay the first year for the seller and have the new buyer renegotiate after that first year. But it was another one of those things where you just talk to people, look for opportunity. Mike, were you a listing agent on that? You couldn't sell that one. That was tough.
That one is tough. And we'll get it in 2025 if you want to go back.
Well, the lease is up in 4 months, so you're gonna have to. All right, so it's 5:04. We're late. Any last questions? We'll post this on the school community. We'll bleep out some things so I don't get in trouble legally.
I think Rudy has a question. He's trying to figure out how to raise his hand, but Rudy, go for it. And by the way, y'all, if you're not on the school, I'm going to drop a link. I don't know how you're not on there already, but go check that out.
So I'm new to the game totally. So when you throw up the numbers, like let's say you said 10 million, right? What is a good rate like to get on cash? Because obviously they're not lending it for free, you know. What is considered a good rate? And I mean, like I'm so new that I don't know how to wow, it's kind of a lot of money, you know.
Yeah. What break that down? I mean, maybe you start with a smaller number, right? How would you
On hard money?
No, just you're talking about interest rate or rate of return,
Like in general, like let's say you're gonna flip a house, you know, and you don't have $10 million, you know, you ask somebody, hey, can I borrow $10 million? I know it's very simplified.
yeah.
But
Yeah, hard
like
money
what's a
basically.
Yeah, I
what was
mean,
that?
you can leverage hard money or a hard money lender somewhere between 10 and 12%. If you're newer, that rate's going to be a little bit higher just because there's more risk involved, and they want to make sure that there's enough equity in the deal that in case you default, they take the house. Yeah, I mean, somewhere between 10 and 12% is fairly common.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
usually
these are called the
for 12 months.
And these are called like hard money. They're called hard money lenders, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, it's basically like a bridge loan or some kind of hard money loan. Yeah, but they're
Got it,
using
got it.
property as collateral. So that if you have a good enough deal, there's enough collateral there in equity that they're willing to loan you that amount. And so it's sometimes not dependent on your credit or your experience as much because there's collateral in the property.
Yeah, say that $10 million property is worth 20 million. They're going to give you that money without kind of flinching. They're going to say, dude, if you default, I just made $10 million, right? But hopefully you don't, but they'll give you that funding pretty quickly.
And how do you get access to them? I mean, like, I've seen like you post the links of like people's Instagram stuff like that. But I don't know if you can just hey, what's up? I'm Rudy. Can I borrow $500,000? You know, it's
Yeah, so
kind of
you could literally call these people. They're friendly. Most of them pick up, especially my network of people. If you want, you could text me like, "Hey, introduce me to someone in this area," and I'll start a group chat. They need me, right? They don't need me, but they want me to be happy. So if you need someone, I'll group chat you with one of my lenders, and they'll respond pretty quickly. Everyone pretty much is respectable, and they want more business, right? They're not afraid of it's a newbie or whatnot. You have a hard money lender.
Yeah.
We had one on here on the school community, Brandon from Talamar. He's a little bit more conservative, but he'll love to answer any questions you might have. So anytime you need something, yeah, let us know. But I don't know if you were on the stream, I think it was a year ago, 2 years ago, where we called a hard money lender, random hard money lender. We just Googled it, hard money San Diego, number popped up. I called it live and had the conversation that you would. So these people are there. They're waiting for your call. They need the business, right? So you have to think about it from a different point of view. Like they need you versus you need them, but at the same time, you guys need each other. So just
got
call.
it, got it. Cool. Thank you very much for the question.
What are you, Rock Junior over there? What's going on? You got the
Nice
the
gym
Rock
stuff.
sweatshirt. You got the gym. You got the steroids or what? There's
Nah, man.
I hit 40. I need some steroids. Anything else, Tyler? We lost Tyler.
That's the call, right? So we'll be back same time, same place next week. Is that right? Tuesday?
Yeah, we'll probably take Christmas week off. But yeah, we'll be back next week for sure, Tuesday. I don't know if I'll have a special guest in time, but maybe we can find someone.
All right. Well, that's the call, y'all. Thank y'all for hopping on. Enjoy the holiday party. And everyone else, we'll see you next week if we don't see you in the meantime in the school community. So check it out. Ask to join, and hopefully Lending Tips will let you in.
Yeah, I'm gonna tomorrow I'll work on school. I'll post the walkthrough video template so you guys know what to look for. I'm gonna post all the numbers from this most recent flip and then how that compares to the new project that we got on the same street. And then some pointers on how to kind of communicate with agents and find these deals that are on market or even off market. So I'll see you guys next week. Check you guys out on Instagram. Call me if you guys or no, text me. Text me. I don't like phone calls. All right, later.
All right. See y'all. Peace.